been quite a relentless schedule. There's just been the one tournament since our last podcast,
Yeah.
which was the Bet Victor German Masters, which
Mhm.
Trump, of course, won in Ronnie's absence. 4th ranking title of the season for Trump, beating seed 10-5 in the final. Although again, it could have been a lot tighter than that. The final.
Yeah, I was watching some of it. It's obviously it's a Eurosport event. I don't do Eurosport, so
Wouldn't
I
dream of
tend
it.
to not
No.
watch snooker when I'm not being paid. But
You've made that absolutely clear, Stephen. You've made your attitude clear.
But I did dip in and out, and yeah, Si Jiahui was 5-2 behind the final, got back to 5-4, started the evening with a magnificent century, and then missed the easiest of reds in the next frame to go 5-5. Then Judd sort of pulled away, and he wasn't at his best the whole week, I would say, Judd, but he's become a real winning machine. He can win when he can use his B game, and when he's put under pressure, he's able to find gears.
There are a lot of players that can sneak into a big final and get some of the way. And then we've seen quite a lot of these finals that are like 10-5, 6, 7. It's just it's one thing to get there, but to compete over every session, it seems to be what marks out the real champions. And Judd's becoming one of those guys, as you say.
Certainly, I mean, it's becoming a 2-player season, as it was. Ronnie and Judd are absolutely dominating. But I was pleased to see Si Jiahui have a performance, because obviously after his semi-final of the World, you were looking to see if he was going to step on this season and continue that, and he hadn't really done up until now. So I'm glad to see him get to that final. Hopefully he can kick on from there.
Yeah, well, we need some. We said this last time. We need some new people to talk about a little bit.
Yeah,
really, it really is.
exactly,
It's a Ronnie and Trump season, as you say. As for C, I mean, you did actually say in the last episode we need more young players to step up. You challenged them. You basically, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
You said everyone was rubbish, and I'm again paraphrasing. And he's paid attention to that. And we saw flashes in the final, like you say, of a potential champion there.
Yeah.
But again, what is the gap? Is it just the experience of being in finals? That must be part of it. Judd's been there a fair bit.
Definitely. You've got to put yourself at that business end of the tournament. You've got to get to the weekends, the Saturdays and the Sundays again and again and again, and get that confidence and be able to feel comfortable. I mean, you look comfortable. I mean, that Tempodrome in Berlin is some venue to be at one table. I think there's about 3,000 people in there. So he's got the temperament. There's no denying that. He got to the semi-final of the World. It didn't phase him at all. But you got to keep getting there, and so you feel completely that you're not the underdog, that you're there to win as well. I think at the minute he's perhaps feeling a little bit of the underdog, and he's got nothing to lose, but he's got the talent. I mean, some of his play in the week, beating Karen Wilson's, he played a long blue, which was just phenomenal. So he goes. I love the way he plays. He goes for his shots. As I say, but getting to one final, and then if we don't hear from him again for the rest of the season, that's not what you want from someone who's a potential top player.
I'd have loved to see that long blue, but I also don't watch Eurosport unless I'm being paid money, Stephen. So and they've not got back to me actually for a while now. It's quite a difficult way to make a living, I have to say.
I'm not switching on the until you get paid. Send me the money.
I want to see the money in my account. The Welsh Open, there's no Trump and no O'Sullivan. I was going to ask you how you feel generally about players sort of pulling out of tournaments, but you've sort of partly covered this. You feel like it's a good idea to sometimes rest yourself a bit with the schedule the way it is.
Yeah, and it's one of the good things about the tour is players don't have to enter every tournament. They can choose not to enter if they want to. Yeah. Obviously, if you've clicked the button at the start of the season which says you enter everything automatically, then obviously you've got to have a reason for pulling out. And Ronnie's obviously published his reasons for pulling out. Judd, I think, is a sort of strategiig one. The way I'm thinking, it's like he's got, as I say, he's in everything. And recharge the batteries before a big end of season push. But yeah, it's with those two players gone, I mean, the other players must be thinking, wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a dream to play in a tournament without either of those guys. Yeah.
Now you've got a very interesting tournament that's so open now. Literally anybody could win that Welsh Open, and what an opportunity for someone to come out of nowhere and win a ranking title.
Well, that's the flip side, isn't it? It's nice to have a tournament where you don't show up thinking this will probably be Ronnie again. Yeah, for the health of the game, we need more players to be in the mix. So maybe it's sort of a blessing. There's been an official announcement about a Saudi ranking event, which is from August 31st to September the 7th, and we had the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters. So it's a a massive prize pot, like £2 million. So a huge tournament by all accounts. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic for the players. Fantastic news. I mean, a huge event. I mean, talks of fourth majors might be premature. The tournament's not even been played yet, but certainly the first prize is going to be there. I think majors need to be they need to be around for. That's why I think the Tour Championship, because it's been around for a few years now, it's become this huge event for 8 or 10 players to play long frame matches. But there's no doubt that this is going to be a huge thing for snooker. I mean, a 10-year deal. First prize is going to be around £500,000. It won't be as much as the World. I think that's a rule that it can't be bigger than the World Championship.
Yeah, which is a good thing. The World's he's got to have that untouchable status, I think. Yeah.
And this tournament has comes from the tournament the top 8 are going to, next month. This other huge deal for 10 years has come from that.
Yeah, obviously a lot of the players have been saying, well, basically forever, that that there need to be more opportunities for players below the absolute top. So that's good, and it's a huge opportunity for someone. I guess there'll be some qualifying rounds in this country first, and then
I would imagine so.
Yeah, they won't fly 128 people out to Saudi, surely. But one of the good things about this is that it keeps people, in a tour event. There's always talk about breakaway events and players, especially the top players, going where the money is, which is fair enough. But now this is an opportunity. The top players have obviously kind of opened the door for a competition which could make anyone into a massive winner, anyone in that 128.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there was sort of moans and groans about, this is, the top 8 are getting looked after again, and what about us down the rankings?
Yeah.
This has gone on since I've been a professional.
I bet it has,
top players. I mean, 4 top players used to go to Hong Kong, Thailand, China to do these exhibition tours first. I mean, the one next month is not it's a proper tournament, but do these little exhibition tournaments in order for there to be a ranking tournament following to benefit all the players. So it was important that the top 8 guys go out first and have this tournament, and it's going to be to the benefit of the whole tour. It's a fact of life that when you first go to a place that's never had a tournament before, unfortunately the players, they only want to see the top players at the beginning. But this is the benefit of that.
You've got to build a culture, haven't you?
Of course.
There was a time when there was no major, like in Germany, for example, or everywhere where we've seen snooker kind of develop. It's taken a little bit of time because, as you say, there's only a handful of real box office names that are going to draw the crowds to start with. But that's where you build from.